Hello, it's me again. Welcome back to math class. And today's joke, I'm just going to pick a random one. Usually I like to choose one, but I'm just going to open the book and see what joke is meant for us today. So here we go. All right. What did the tornado say to the sports car? Want to go for a spin? And we'll do one more. What kind of tree can fit into your hand? What kind of tree can fit into your hand? Think of what this part of my hand is called, and you're probably going to figure it out. So that would be a palm tree. All right, so for today, we are going to be reviewing liquid measures and how to convert measures, and then also just some of the basic math operations and a few word problems. And then we'll review those before we go on to the next unit, which will be on Thursday. So let's jump right in, and just wanted to begin with a review. Looking here, 16 ounces equals 1 cup. 2 cups, so here's a cup. 2 cups equal 1 pint. 2 pints equal a quart. And then 4 quarts equal 1 gallon. So we have our gallon of milk here. Hopefully you're drinking milk. If you don't like the taste of milk, maybe add a little bit of chocolate, but milk is very good for you. It gives you strong bones. So we're gonna be looking up here, and I'm gonna keep this with me so you can have a visual of what we're referring to. But we're gonna be on pages 56 of your textbook, and we're just starting, we're just gonna be looking at the first 3 sections on that page. So remember, when we are going from a larger unit to a smaller unit conversion, we are going to multiply. So here we have pints. The green here is this is our pints, and cups are smaller. So if we had 8 pints, let's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pints, and we wanted to turn them into cups. We're going to multiply, and there are 2 cups in each pint. So we would multiply 8 times 2, which is 16. So 8 pints is equal to 16 cups. So let's just count that up by 2s real quick. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. And voila, you do see there that 8 pints is indeed equal to 16 cups. All right, let's look at the next one. The next one, we have 15 cups and 15 pints and 1 extra cup. So 15 times 2 would be 30, plus the 1 cup would equal 31 cups. All right, now we're going to look at quarts. So quarts are our blue container here. So if we had 7 quarts, how many pints would that be? So 7 quarts would be equal to how many pints? And there are 2 pints in 1 quart. So again, we would be multiplying by 2. So 7 times 2 is 14 pints. And this is number 2A on your page 56. All right, the next one, we have 11 quarts. So 11 times 2, 22, plus 1 more would be 23 pints. All right, let's look now at gallons. So if I had 10 gallons, here's 1 gallon, and we know that within 1 gallon, there are 4 quarts. Well, imagine if I had 10 of those. I would be multiplying 10 gallons times 4 quarts, which would be 40. So 10 gallons are equal to 40 quarts. And then my last one here, 23, I'm going to be multiplying by 4. So 23 times 4, let's work this out together. 4 times 3 is 12. It's been a while since we've done these. And 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So we have 92 quarts, plus 1 more quart, 93 quarts. Wow, you can make a lot of chocolate milk with 93 quarts. All right, so all of these, we were taking a larger unit, converting it to a smaller, which is to multiply. So now I'm going to look at converting smaller units to larger units. And when you do that, you want to divide. Now, these aren't in your textbook, so I just want you to look here. So if we had 8 quarts, if you look here, we have our quarts. 4 quarts is equal to 1 gallon. So if we had 8 quarts and we wanted to turn those into gallons, we would divide that 8 divided by 4. So 8 divided by 4, which equals 2. So 8 quarts would be equal to 2 gallons. And then if we had 8 cups, again, here are our cups. Now 2 cups is equal to 1 pint. Let me take that off. 2 cups equal to 1 pint. So if I had 8 cups and I was going to divide those into containers, I would divide by 2. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. So there you go. All right, now what I'd like you to do is to look at page 57 in your text. I'm going to go ahead and erase this. And we're just going to be reviewing basic operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So we're going to do just one section. So the first one, let's look at this, number 1A, and it says 895 plus 5,037. Okay, so this is going way back. I know you guys have learned this a long time ago, but it's important once in a while that we just review what we've learned. So 7 and 5 make 12. So I will carry. Then I'm going to add these up. I'm going to make a 10, and 3 more is 13. 8 and 1 is 9. And then we have our 5,000. So 5,932. You can do this mentally, or you can go ahead and just use this standard algorithm here. All right, the next one is a subtraction. So we have 1,436 minus 437. Now we can see here we cannot take a larger number and subtract it from a smaller number. So 6 minus 7 can't do. I'm going to have to borrow from my tens. So I'm going to take 10 and bring it here. So now I have 16 minus 7 is 9. 2 minus 3, again, I cannot subtract that. So I'm going to borrow from my hundreds. So now I have 12 minus 3 is 9. And now I have 13 minus 4, which is also going to be 9. Now let me show you just a little trick right here, okay? Anytime when I have, so for example, I have 16 minus 7. When my number here is just 1 digit higher, so this is a 6, this is a 7, it's always going to be 9. Here was a 2, this is a 3, 9. This was a 3, this is a 4, 9. So that's just a simple little kind of trick that you can remember when you are subtracting numbers like that. All right, let's move on to a multiplication. Again, I hope you guys have been practicing those. So important to master those multiplication tables. Find a fun game, flashcards, something, because all the math that you do, upper level math, if you know those well, it's going to be much easier for you. So let's look at this one, 77 times 4. So we have 4 times 7 is 28. And then again, 28 plus 2, 30. So we have 308. And the last one for this section, we'll do a division problem. So we have 900 divided by 2. So we're going to say, all right, 9 divided by 2. Or think of it this way. 2 times what number is close to 9? And that would be 4. Now we can multiply. 4 times 2 is 8. We subtract 9 minus 8. And then our last step, if you see up here, we have division man. Remember, we learned these steps: divide, multiply, subtract. And then our last step is to bring down. So we're going to bring down that 0. 2 goes into 10, or 2 times what is 10? And that would be 5. We're going to multiply, subtract, and bring down that last digit. 2 times what will give me 0? And yes, that is 0. No remainders. We are finished. So the answer for number 4 was 450. Now maybe you looked at that and you just knew. You just knew, oh, I know half of 900 is 450. That's great. But in case you didn't, you can work it out like this. All right, let's look now at some story problems. Wish you guys were here to read them. I know I love reading out loud, so I'm going to just go ahead and read them for you. So number 5, it says Cameron received $504 for selling pens at $8 each. How many pens did he sell? Now it can get kind of tricky. You're wondering, am I going to multiply? Am I going to divide, add, subtract? So there are some clue words there. So he received $504 for selling pens at 8 each. So that would mean that we would divide. We're going to divide to find out how many pens that he sold. So let's, again, use those steps. Step number 1 is to divide. So 8, if we look at 5, look at the first digit. We cannot take 5 and divide that into 8. So we're going to move over to the next digit and we'll be dividing 50. So 8 times what is close to 50? And that would be 6. And then we multiply 6 times 8. 6 times 8 is 48. And then we'll subtract. Last, we're going to bring down. So now 8 times what is 24? And that would be 3. So he sold 63 pens. Now let's say that you made a mistake and you multiplied. And when you multiplied, if you multiply 504 times 8, you would get 4,532. I'm just pointing this out because sometimes this happens. After you work a word problem, you want to go back and see if it makes sense. So according to this, he sold 4,532 pens. But if you look back at your problem, it said he only made $504 selling his pens, and he sold them each at $8. So if you multiply this, that's going to he made close to $35,000 selling pens, and your problem tells you he only made 504. So always check your answer and see if it made sense. But this does make sense that he only sold 63 pens at $8, and then he made $504. That's pretty good for selling pens. All right, let's look at number 6, the next one. It says Eric paid $628 for a television set. So here's what he paid for a TV set, and he paid $1,485 for a computer. And then he had $515 left. How much did he have at first? So let's first see what he spent. How much money did he spend? So let's add this up. 8 and 5 is 13. 11. I'm going kind of quickly here with the addition. 11. All right. So he spent $2,113. After he spent his money, he had $515 left. So we are going to add these two numbers together. So 8, 2, 6, 2. All right. So 2,628 is what he started with. Okay, after he spent, it said that this is what he had left. So if that's what he had left, and I add that to what he spent, I would see what he started out with. Because if I subtract, let's check this. If I subtract what he spent, it gives me what he had left. So that's kind of how I can check my answer there. All right, number 7. Says Mrs. Ray bought 4 boxes of cookies. 4 boxes, and sometimes it helps to draw a picture. So I'm just going to draw a picture here very quickly. 4 boxes of cookies. There were 12 chocolate cookies. There's my 12 chocolate, and 8 sugar in each box. So in each box there were this many cookies. So if I add those, that means in each box there were 20 cookies. And I have 4 of those boxes. So that means I have 24 times. So I can do 20 times 4, which gives me 80. 80 cookies there were all together. All right, next one. We have 2 more to do. And this one, number 8 says, Kyle sold 337 boxes of cookies last month. he sold 299 more boxes this month than the last 2 months. Now, I'm going to remind you guys of a method that we learned in class way back, and that was to draw our bar graphs. So if we show here, it says Kyle sold 337 boxes, and this was last month. This month, he sold 299 more. So he sold the 337, and then he sold more, 299 more this month. And they want to know how many he sold in 2 months. So I could do it a couple ways. I could add the 337 plus the 299, which gives me, let's add this up. So that's 16, 13, 636. So that's the 337, the 299 is 636. Plus I have to add this part, which was the 337. So we can add this, and that would end up being 973. So 973 boxes of cookies. That is a lot of cookies. That he must have been, I don't think the Boy Scouts sell cookies, but the Girl Scouts, I guess these Boy Scouts are selling cookies. So 973 boxes of cookies he sold in 2 months. And I've known some Girl Scouts that have sold that many cookies. All right, so you could do it that way, or you could also do it this way. You had 337 twice, so you could do 337 times 2. Let's do that really quickly. 674 plus the 299, which also equals 973. So there's a couple ways that you can do that, whichever one you prefer. Okay, last one, number 9. And this one, we're talking about eggs. So Sally bought 200 eggs to make cakes. She used 8 eggs to make each cake. So the first thing they want to know, A, is how many cakes did she make? So 200, and she divided all of those eggs between, 200 eggs between 8. She used 8 for each cake. So she divided them up to make these cakes. So 8 times what will give me 20, or close to 20, and that's going to be 2. 8 times 2 is 16, and then we subtract, bring down our 0. 8 times what will give me 40, and that is 5. So we have 25 cakes that she made. So that's our first. This is a 2-step problem. So 25 cakes were made. And then the next one, B, it says if she sold all of these cakes at $10 each, how much money would she make? So we have 25 times 10. Now remember, when you have a number times 10 or a multiple of 10, 10, 100, 1,000, however many zeros you see, you can just pop that on the end of the number. So 25 times 10 becomes 250. So that's how much money she made, $250. All right. Okay, so what I would like for you to do for homework, and I will follow up with this with you, is to just do section B and C, and that's just practicing those operations. So that's it for today, and on Thursday we will begin a new unit. So see you then. Bye-bye.